Hello.
You know what you could do? You could set up a camera.
I could.
That's the camera.
I think when we set up the full, I don't know. Hello and welcome back to Hyperkinetics Dawn of War Hyper League. Death by Snails versus Hell's General. Round 4, Game 2. Let's get it going.
What happened last game?
In the last game,
That's four.
Hell's General, as the green men from space, ate up the Sisters of Battle. But the Sisters of Battle are back for more battle, and we're going to start on the side of Death by Snails. This time versus the fantastic, what is this, Dark Eldar? Y'all are looking crazy. They're evil Protoss, that's absolutely correct. They got their Hall of Blood, you know, because if you're going to have a hall, it better be a Hall of Blood. As they warp in from the warp, their own warp zone, to get more units in. Immediately, Sisters of Mercy with their missionary, which is a pretty good unit to start with, standalone. But hopefully this time around, Death by Snails will be a little bit more proactive on teaming up. You know, sisters need to work together. A little more snail, a little less death. Maybe a little less snail and a little less death. I mean, get out there quick. Mandrake. What the heck is this? General combat, effective at melee, can be upgraded to use stealth. Alright, and we have a bunch more units coming in from the warp. Dark Eldar seem to be very, very quick. Just getting themselves out there. You got a tortured slave, which, you know, what kind of slave are you if you're not tortured? Mandrake, more and more of them. We got our space ninjas heading around the outside of this map, which has a very large forest, this kind of impasse. At the moment, there is only a slight amount of map control that is taken over by probably, let's see, who's out here? Nobody? Is it you? Yes, a strategic point being controlled by Hell's General. Generally hellish. But I can't see too much other action going on. I believe that probably has to do with this army not needing a really large footprint. You can kind of warp in all over the map. You can see these units coming in here. Slave chambers probably give us more slaves. Increases the unit cap. Increases population cap. That is a very, very key thing that has opened up in the middle of these games. You can see though that these squads of dark units, I'm not quite sure they are. They're not chaos. They must be Dark Eldar. Are not, like, they're not very large, right? They don't come in large numbers. Whereas our sisters over here will come in groups of 5 that you can actually build up to 10. However, this map control is already underway. A missionary being taken down at the center stage. 2 out of 8 control points are grabbed, and these matches are moving right along. Put your flag down. Get your jewels up. Let's see what kind of new units might be coming our way. I feel like we have pretty quick scout units that are taking good control over the map. Looks like Death by Snails is getting out here, trying to plant that flag. One for the girl team. Ooh, and out here on the edge, going over to the coast. All right, the Mandrakes dropping the flag on the relic. It's gonna take a minute for that control point to take over. Let's have a look at what's going on in center stage. Another control point just grabbed up. So in a minute here, we're actually going to have all of these. Basically this top half of the map right here is just going to be straight up grabbed. It looks like we have a bunch of sisters ready to battle. But will it be enough? This is Sister Act 2, definitely. Definitely. Woofy is back. You know, nothing you can say can tear me away from my squad. There's nothing you can do, because I'm stuck like Dark Elder to the warp to my squad. And this battle squad is headed into the center of the map, where the first conflict will definitely take place. Here we have some mandrakes, we have some tortured slaves, and it looks like, ooh, these banshees are just getting, oh, these aren't banshees, they're mandrakes, they're like manshees. Oh, but we're warping right into the center. Gotta have that slave chamber. We're gonna use that to bounce units around, I believe. Used to revive the lords of the Dark Eldar with labor and entertainment. That is a very dark type of entertainment. But hey, looks like the sisters actually have the upper hand in this battle. Although they are kind of locked in close combat, I would say that their numbers are going to be the difference. Oh yeah. Oh, they're gonna build up, it looks like a turret right here. No, it solidifies your hold of a location by putting a building on it. Yes, yes, yes. But I'm not expecting a turn. Somehow, the Mandrakes, they must be upgraded or something, because they are chasing away our sisters of battle, who are looking pretty good health-wise, but ooh, it's pretty close. It's too close to call. It's a bit tricky. I don't know what this tortured slave is doing, but that tortured slave is getting backup, so will deathbysnails be able to back up as well? Run for the hills, because we have slightly larger units. That's right, we have an Incubus and Archon. That is a Dark Eldar champion. Watch the heck out for that. Incubus is a goofy name for a band from Sherman Oak, or Thousand Oaks. Jerks. Their music's alright though, I guess, sometimes. Here we go, the Sisters of Battle do have backup now. We have slightly heavier units, slightly bigger guns. Who doesn't like armored girls with big guns? Get the heck out of my sandbox. Alright. Can we pick one more off? Can Deathbysnails chase down one of these stragglers? It looks like they have activated stealth and they are the heck out. Let's take a minute here to look at what's going on around the map. We've got a control point that is totally taken care of over here. The Tower of Loathing now being built to make that stronghold on this area stronger. We have a missionary out here slowly taking over this unit. And the Sisters of Battle that remain headed out to the coast to support. We need more units coming up. You can see that Deathbysnails is still not increasing their unit cap, and that's going to become an issue with a lot of these fast and invisible units running around the map. Let's have a look at what HellsGeneral is doing over here. Looks like we're generally okay. With Dark Eldar building up these little squads, warriors, pretty dangerous Dark Eldar warriors, but still not a very large army. Decent sized unit cap, but you can see that there is a central focal point of all of these forces, including the Archon champion, and flanked by the Incubi running for the hills. We have a small little army building up here just to defend this middle control of the map, because at this point Deathbysnails is going to have to control all the points around and outlying, and there are defenses set up in front of these critical locations, which just is not enough. Who needs slag anyway? I'm not taking no slag from nobody. More warriors join this very, very large departure, or what is that called? Deployment? Deployment? Yes. Definitely deployment. I can't see what chat's doing. You can look at the chat history, but it looks like no one's talking. We're just battling. For now, that's the way to go. I see quite a few units on the board, but not a whole lot of action. Looks like there's a new building completed, a new squad completed, more units just being warped in. The void is my friend this week. What are these slaves doing? We got an interview from the ground. Hello, sir. What exactly are you doing there? Well, I like to fry bones, and well, I just like to pile bodies in my spare time. Right now, we're gonna. Okay, thank you. Yeah. These are, I think they're upgraded. You know, because first you just need the chamber, but then you can add the piles of slaves. And that adds flavor, but also, you know, yeah, it's like bone broth. Looks like the sisters are starting to take over another building here, and that gets the attention of HellsGeneral. Yeah, no, there's definitely a forest between us. And, oh, that building has become a bunch of guns. Oh, man. That Tower of Loathing sucks. It is just... That's so loathsome. That's so loathsome. That is so low. We do have a couple of surviving sisters, though. Which I think were the converted nun and the... Yeah, Sandra Bullock, right? But where's Lauren Hill at, though? That's what I want. Lauren Hill was in Sister Act 2.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, you know, when you are a space princess, you can't be sane. And look at this. Hell's General just has a solid camp. It's going to be really difficult to break that barrier. Let's switch over to Death by Snails view really quickly and see if maybe there's an answer. It looks like definitely more units, hopefully a little bit more tech, but that unit cap is still being blocked. We're going to approach really quickly a point where after I get these, I don't know, let's see, upgrades chapel, allows the production of more advanced units. Yes, we're definitely teching up, so Death by Snails' heart is in the right place, but unit cap is definitely in a disadvantage. So we have a Cannoness, not to be confused with a Cannoner, or a Cannoneer. And they're going to go out there and do a little bit more digging, try and see what area is safe. If we turn off the fog of war, you can see that there isn't quite a lot of information out there, although this control point is giving Death by Snails a considerable amount of vision. So there's the ability to see this large mass hanging out in the center of the map, and Snails is going to want to avoid that. Otherwise it will be Death by Dark Eldar, and that is way less cool than Death by Snails. Which sounds kind of comforting in like a gross way. It's time for a blessing, y'all. Oh, dang. Oh, is this what happens when you open the Ark of the Covenant? Except your face doesn't melt off and you become enlightened? Oh, that's right. And here they go. Some sisters over here, some sisters over there. I really think they should stick together because you never know what the heck is going to come up next. No, they're building up this listening post in order to strengthen their hold on this control point. And also provide a little bit more vision, because these sisters are not quite sure what is coming up. If we turn off the fog of war, there is a small set of units just hanging out here. A tortured slave. Yep. We got invisible Ragnaroks. Let's switch back over to the view of Hell's General. The invisible ninjas slashing away at the sisters of confusion because they have no idea what the heck is going on. But that might actually open up the unit cap a little bit. Ooh, what are these guys? Whoa, the Scourge. The Scourge of Hell's Sisters coming down to clean up the glowing, beautiful masses of these angelic anti-heroes, taking a bit of damage. That's fine. You'll be alright. Stay up, sisters. This game could go anywhere. Anywhere this game could go. We're 12 and a half minutes in. We have more enlightened sisters, Celestian squads coming down. Very much upgraded units. But we have reached the unit cap, as you can see by the flashing red 10 in the top left section of your screen. But I want to test these units out. Let's take these girls for a ride. Oh, and she walks into, what the heck, this Raiders unit. These Raiders are tough, and there's just loadsome cannon, just loading down the loading shells, unloading. So throw more people at it, right? That is the way of the West. The mythical man month, or in this case, the sacred sister session is just a myth. You can't do with 100 sisters what you can do with 10 trained ladies. But there is a small set of defense left. What will Death by Snails do? Clearly on the defensive against a largely mounting force. These crazy looking Scourge dudes, they're like all trying to be Batman, right? But also the Pope. Yeah. Well, I mean, if the Lost Ark was, you know, the Sisters' Enlightenment, then these are definitely the Raiders. And it looks like, oh, the invisible dudes have gotten into a little battle over here. And it looks like we have a bit more of a fair fight, though we may still have the invisible units on this side of the map. Let's switch that view over really quickly. Yep, just a few. And those Raiders jumping across the map. This is too much too soon. Let me get that menu bar out of the way so you can actually see the damage these insane Dark Eldar laying into the remainder of these angelic assaultiers. Go, 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 go. Ooh, what is this? Twin-linked blasters. From the listening post, it seems like Death by Snails is teched up, but is that enough to take down this raider? Let's look at the health of that. Oh, the shield is just far too high. It's enough to scare Hell's General off, but not enough to take the units out. And once again, whittled down to a 2 out of 10 supply with plenty of resources, which is interesting. Definitely an opportunity to build up very rapidly as... Whoa, even the unit cap over here is not very high. What is going on with Hell's General? Just not losing many units, I would expect. It seems that Hell's General is also taking control with the Invisible Man Drakes. This is Relic on the side of the map, and that second Relic will actually probably be what ends this game. It's like Kano and Kano's brother and Kano's cousin. I've liberated your sacred relic. I was wondering what would break first. Your sister? I don't know. I think it was that mouth thing that just made Bane. Yeah, I think so. The fog of war is lifted, and we can see clearly that Hell's General has very good clear control and view over the map, and 8 minutes left for Death by Snails to shut down either of these control points. A couple of units coming in. Something tells me that's not going to happen, but you're right. Research is complete on those loud hailers, which it might be too late for the loud. A lot of energy coming in, a lot of plasma, a lot of tech. But good God, Death by Snails. Unit cap. Bring up your unit cap. You already know how to build these things. You got that far. You know you don't need very many buildings, just need to constantly be producing units. You have more than enough resources as a manufactorum comes through. But it's too late because the raiders have showed up. And the raiders are going to be what shuts down this party. Switch over to the full view of the opposition. The opposition has decided to descend. Hell's General coming down with every unit that they've got. You see this ridiculous jump jet scourge. Look at these charge shots. Look at these scourge taking out the buildings, destroying the temples. Oh my goodness, what is that? Jumping behind the enemy lines into the channel, disturbing the fire, stopping the whole ridiculous thing from doing the stuff. Here come even more Scourge. Oh my goodness, it's like it's like the Bat Dance from 1986. Purple rain all over this. all over Death by Snails encampment. It is truly a disaster. Quite a decisive victory by a very, very large force. Interestingly enough, very powerful units, but not a whole lot of unit cost. A lot more tech, 6 out of 20, 19 out of 20 unit cap, but map control is kind of had. So we had 5 minutes for this thing to close down, but Hell's General just realized, look, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to take this, I'm going to do the Bat Dance, and that has to be game. I mean, there are certainly a couple units out there, but you annihilated the enemy. Death by Snails goes down in the second round, or the second game of round 4. Games, rounds, what do I look like, a steak? Alright, thank you very much for hanging with me this round. I'll see you next time. I'm Angry Crow.